Roof leaks, wet rooms, and destroyed teaching supplies. Find out how much longer students will be in the old Waddell Elementary.
Washington and Lee unveiled a revolutionary financial aid program last week. But how will it affect local students in the coming years?
Last Saturday, Kenny's looked like a scene from the 1960s. We went to take a look. All coming up on the Rockbridge Report. Welcome to this afternoon's edition of the Rockbridge Report. I'm Laura Lindsay Tatum.
And I'm Athena Howe. After 7 years in the red, Buena Vista once again has a budget surplus. The city says it took in $280,000 more than it spent in the fiscal year ending June 30th. City Manager Jay Scudder says responsible budgeting and tax hikes help the city operate in the black. He says the city should be able to do that every year like its neighbors, Lexington and Rockbridge County.
5 candidates are competing for 2 positions on the Rockbridge County Board of Supervisors. They mostly agree that the county needs to attract more businesses to help the economy. But in a debate Tuesday sponsored by the Chamber of Commerce, they offered their visions of what needed to be done. The incumbents say the county is currently working to attract businesses to the area. Challengers believe that county officials need to work harder and look outside the box. In the statewide gubernatorial race, tonight is the final debate between Republican candidate Ken Cuccinelli and Democrat Terry McAuliffe. The 2 candidates will meet face-to-face on Virginia Tech's campus at 7. Victims of the shooting massacre are expected to rally before the event, pushing for universal background checks and other gun control regulations. The most recent polls show McAuliffe leading by around 8 percentage points. Despite polling near the 10% cutoff to participate in the debate, Libertarian Robert Sarvis was not invited to tonight's event.
Teachers and parents at Waddell Elementary in Lexington will finally get some relief from the school 100-year-old building after a decade of waiting, thanks to funds raised by increasing tuition and capital improvement loans from the city. Waddell will break ground on a brand new facility beginning this June. Margaret Volsky has the story.
Students, parents, and faculty at Waddell Elementary are finally seeing a 10-year dream of a new school building come to life.
This particular room, I think this used to be a janitor's closet back when it was Lexington High School.
Dr. Daniel Lyons is a superintendent of Lexington schools. He says small facilities for faculty and staff are only a part of larger safety concerns at Waddell Elementary.
The building's almost 100 years old. It was designed to be a high school. It's gone through a series of renovations. A lot of the rooms don't meet current standards as far as size for the pupils.
Kristen Bailey has been a guidance counselor at Waddell since 1995. She says the current facility is stressful for employees.
We have a pretty big moisture problem that impacts all of the classrooms with dampness and sometimes mold. We also have some leaky roofs, and that sometimes destroys some of the teachers' supplies and classroom articles and materials. So it's really a pervasive problem.
In addition to problems with moisture, Waddell's current facilities do not meet the standards of federal regulations for persons with disabilities.
The width of our hallways are not up to code with the American Disabilities Act. And I believe our classrooms are not the size they should be square footage wise for the amount of kids that we have in them. So we're looking forward to just modernizing all of that.
Dr. Lyons says the city will take out a $10 million loan to pay for the new building. Because of the extensive repairs needed to keep the current building running, building an entirely new facility is more economical.
And so when you look at the cost to repair or replace, and you compare it to the cost of a brand new facility that you can probably get 40 to 50 years out of, I think people want to go with the new facility.
Michelle Drumble is the parent of a first grader and incoming kindergartner at Waddell. She is looking forward to the new facilities.
I'm tremendously excited that we're moving ahead with a new building that my sons will benefit from for a couple of years, but more importantly, that all the children of Lexington will continue to benefit from.
Janice Bergers has taught at Waddell for 22 years. For her, the new facilities will represent the school's commitment to its students.
When you want to send a message that you take education seriously, then you have a building that reflects that. And in the last several years, this building really hasn't reflected, I think, the depth of our commitment to the education of the children in this community.
In order to keep students and faculty out of temporary trailers, the new school building will be constructed in this field here. Once enough of the classrooms have been completed, students and faculty will move from the old building to the new, and the old building will be permanently demolished. At Waddell Elementary, I'm Margaret Voltsky.
The Rockbridge County school system is trying to change the culture of reading in elementary age students. The local United Way will partner with the county schools in hopes of improving student performance. One aspect of their proposal has begun. They're having read-alouds outside of libraries and various community centers twice a week. The initiative relies entirely on donations, but if funded, it will start next year. Washington and Lee University's new financial aid promise is getting the attention of local high school students and parents. The university will offer free tuition to all students admitted with family incomes below $75,000 a year. In a county where the median income is mid-40,000s, guidance counselors are encouraging students to take advantage of the opportunity. WNL President Kenneth Ruscio says he hopes the school can attract talented local students.
We are a national student body. Only 12% come from Virginia. California is one of our biggest states now, New York, Texas. Increasingly, we're seeing students from other countries show interest in WNL. And that's great. We very, very much want that. But there are great kids in our backyard as well.
The WNL promise is set to take effect in fall 2014.
After several delays, a city-backed housing development on Thompson's Knoll in Lexington is finally under construction. A project expected to break ground in March 2012 is just now starting to lay foundations for green-certified home. City officials blame the delays on finding more solid rocks on the site than they had anticipated, and difficulties finding workers for the project. So far, the city has approved 4 applicants for the homes. They're targeted at low to moderate income families.
Later, find out what got people all revved up at Kenny's on Saturday.
And cold weather through Rockbridge County quickly this week. Find out if you'll need a sweater or maybe even a winter coat this weekend. Next on the Rockbridge Report.
When you throw away money on wasted electricity, you're throwing away everything you could have bought with it. Saving energy saves you money. Learn more at energysavers.gov.
2 outs with a runner on first base. Now the big guy comes up to bat, hitting .342 with 92 RBIs and 36 homers.
Chill raw and prepared foods promptly. 1 in 6 Americans will get sick from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
$7,000 high school students drop out every school day. That's a line of desks, more than 4 miles long. We can keep students in school. Visit boostup.org and take the first step.
This log. Yeah. Whoa! I like the big black ones. I like the brown wiggly ones.
I like the green crunchy ones myself.
Whoa.
Get out and explore nature. There's surprises everywhere. Go to discovertheforest.org.
Anyone up for dessert?
Cotton balls. Duct tape. Spoon. Needle. Thread. Scalpel.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
The newest addition to Lexington's art scene is Sunshine Meadow Studio. Jenny Fugit has the story.
Artist Lenny Bruno grew up a coal miner's daughter, and one winter her family nearly starved. She's created a series of ironing board sculptures from that experience.
And that winter my dad was working in the mines and he got laid off. So pretty much for the whole winter we had no money. So we lived primarily on blackberries for 3 months. So I've started a series, but I want to do a whole series of blackberry pickers because there's just a lot of emotion there.
She also creates paintings from old quilts.
I have about 20 of them, and they are all about growing up in the coal mines area in West Virginia. So it's like a childhood very impoverished, and it's just a great way of expressing everything that I felt growing up.
Bruno and her studio partner Celeste Simon will show their work and offer art workshops at their new gallery, Sunshine Meadows Studio on Nelson Street. Simon also looks to her past for artistic guidance.
I grew up around farm equipment and tools, and in my life I've kind of been known as the tool lady.
Simon says the theme of her work is the cultivation of mythology.
So it's a play on words for the cultivation that would happen in the farming communities, and then through my exploration of different media, cultivating a strength and then putting it in the tool belt.
Sunshine Meadows is now one of 5 galleries downtown. Local artist Barbara Crawford says tourism, pedestrian traffic, and 2 local universities support the art market.
So I think it's the configuration of downtown and the proximity to the 2 schools.
For the Rockbridge Report, I'm Janie Fugate.
Sunshine Meadows Studio will open publicly on the first Friday of November.
This time last year, people up and down the East Coast were bracing for the impact of Superstorm Sandy. The storm brought intense rain and winds and hit the New Jersey and New York areas especially hard, including destroying most of the Jersey Shore's historic boardwalk. This year, the only tropical storm on the horizon is Lorenzo out in the Atlantic, so it's shaping up to be a much drier week than the same week last year. Kinsey Grant has our latest weather update. Kinsey?
That's right, ladies, we don't expect much rain, but cold weather is here in Rockbridge. Before we find out if it's here to stay, let's take a look at the current conditions. Right now it's a chilly 49 degrees outside. Our high is considerably lower than the record set just last year, but our low of 30 is only 9 degrees warmer than the record set back in 1969. Let's take a look at the rest of Western Virginia. As you can see, our neighbors in Buena Vista are experiencing temperatures a few degrees cooler, but those in Stanton and Charlottesville are experiencing temperatures about the same as those here in Lexington. Let's take a look at the radar. As you can see, we don't expect much rain in the coming hours, but Lexington can expect a relatively heavy cloud cover until tomorrow afternoon. Speaking of tomorrow afternoon, let's take a look at our 5-day forecast. Rockbridge residents will want to bring a jacket this weekend as our highs will peak in only the mid-50s. But into the coming days of next week, we can expect some warmer temperatures and some beautiful fall sunshine. Thanks, ladies. Back to you.
Thanks so much, Kinsey. We'll have to remember to grab a jacket on our way out the door in the mornings.
Sidewalks around Lexington don't always connect. Find out which area Police Captain Bucky Miller thinks is especially dangerous.
Oh, and Southern Virginia University football is off to its best start yet. Find out what they're going to do next week from TJ Fisher in sports.
When some people struggle with their mortgage payments, they become frozen, petrified. Not knowing what to do, they do nothing. But the people who take action are far more likely to get the most positive outcome. Making home affordable is a free government program. Call now to talk one-on-one with a housing expert about the options that are right for you. Real help, real answers, right now.
So, I got this new family.
And I don't know what it is about this one, but she can't seem to put down that toy all day long. Tap, 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 tap. Oh, and she even talks to it. She talks to that more than she talks to him. What's up, bro? Nice shirt. Who's she talking to? Her mom? She talks to her mom a lot.
This is one amazing truffula tree. Can you imagine a place where these grow everywhere? Yes, it's called the forest, a magical place to enjoy with your family. Ooh. So discover the forest and explore all the wonder that's there. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
Every book is an adventure waiting to come to life. Visit new worlds. Encounter new friends. And discover the power of reading. Go to read.gov to read A Princess of Mars, the first novel to feature John Carter. A new world awaits. Read.
The magical thing about using energy wisely is that anyone can do it. Turn off lights. Use energy-saving light bulbs. And turn off computers and game systems when not in use. Make a change and we can really fly. Grab a grown-up and go online to energy.gov/kids.
For Lexington pedestrians, Where the Sidewalk Ends is more than just a book of poems by Shel Silverstein. It's a real and potentially dangerous problem in the area. Sarah Koresh-Schiff has the story.
Estelle isn't much of a street, but it connects two of the city's busiest, East Nelson and East Washington. Its sidewalk doesn't run the entire length of the street on either side. That makes pedestrians nervous, including Washington and Lee students.
The sidewalk just ends and you're like, where am I going to go? Walk across the street?
Washington and Lee student Paul Riley says he doesn't feel safe walking where the sidewalk ends on Estelle, or where the sidewalk ends on East Washington either.
It'd be nice if there was the sidewalks, that way people are safe and not having to walk in traffic.
City officials have put a sidewalk in the budget, but not until 2015.
There haven't been any wrecks or any major incidents there, but the city recognized that that was a portion of road that really did need a sidewalk.
Lexington Police Captain Bucky Miller says the city couldn't fit the sidewalk into this year's budget.
I think it is something that really needs to be happening, and it will. It's just the city has a priority list of things they have to do, and sometimes they have to make tough decisions on where to spend their money.
Miller has talked about a new sidewalk with Washington and Lee students who live in the nearby fraternity houses.
I mean, the overall response, it seemed to me, was positive, that they understood that it was there would be there for safety purposes, and appreciated that.
Washington and Lee Director of Security Ethan Kipnis agreed that a sidewalk is needed.
If my input is ever solicited, then I think that I would always be in favor of putting sidewalk on a street where we know our students would be walking.
Miller says one reason university officials would welcome a full sidewalk on Estelle is the school's nighttime sober driver van service.
It's a traveler stop, so that portion of Estelle Street is very busy.
Until the sidewalk is built, students and other pedestrians are left with two choices. They can risk crossing on East Washington to where the sidewalk continues, or Miller offers another suggestion.
Stay safe. Stay over as far as you can, as close as you can, so that cars can pass and go by you.
Reporting from Where the Sidewalk Ends. For the Rockbridge Report, I'm Sarah Koresh-Schiff.
Although it won't fit into this year's budget, plans to build the sidewalk are in place for 2015. According to the Lexington City budget, the city plans to allocate $27,500 toward the sidewalk.
3 weeks ago, when Obamacare came into effect, our own Janie Fugate reported on the technical issues of the brand new website. The site was overcome with traffic and has since suffered from crashes, bugs, and more. CN KCYN has more.
What a difference a day makes. Under mounting pressure in Washington, White House spokesman Jay Carney said the administration will begin providing daily briefings on Obamacare.
So there'll be regular briefings at Secretary Sebelius's
instigation that would try to answer your questions and provide as much information as possible.
So far, answers about the Obamacare rollout have been hard to come by.
Again, I would refer you to HHS about what information they have and what they're able to provide.
It's not unusual for the White House spokesman to walk away from reporters as he did Tuesday,
trying to help this situation
when he was still being questioned about Obamacare, but it is an example of the tension in Washington over scarce information.
How much is this costing? Taxpayers' money. As a longtime Washington reporter before you took this job, obviously that would likely be something that you felt was a right to know. Will we get that information from HHS? Could you?
Well, I would address your question to HHS. I don't have that information. I don't, and this is an operation being run by HHS.
Health and Human Services Secretary Kathleen Sebelius was quick to recite some numbers in an exclusive interview with CNN's Dr. Sanjay Gupta.
We've had 1,100,000 calls. We've had 19 million people visit the website, 500,000 accounts created, and people are shopping every day, so people are signing up.
But creating an account is not the same as signing up.
How many people have signed up?
We'll be doing what we've done with every other program, Medicare Part D, we've done it with CHIP. We will give monthly enrollment figures. We've said that since the beginning.
Republicans are seizing on the secrecy.
We still don't know these enrollment numbers, and HHS is blocking third-party verified traffic data. This is not transparency, and this is adding to the confusion and the fears surrounding the rollout of Obamacare.
Carney said the daily briefings will help give people a sense of what's going on with efforts to fix the problems associated with Obamacare. We still don't know when they'll release the numbers of people who've actually signed up. Casey Wyant, CNN, Los Angeles.
Local spring season sports teams are facing off over the weekend. Find out more about local sports teams. Find out more about their early fall matchups next on the Rockbridge Report.
Learning how to kickflip 6 stairs takes determination. So will getting into college. I've got what it takes. So do you.
I think my purse is upstairs on the bed.
5, 4, 3, 2.
It's not here.
Check the dining room.
1. No.
What about your sister's room?
It's not there either.
The upstairs closet? The downstairs closet?
7. There are no more closets.
Moms everywhere are finding ways to keep kids active and healthy. Get ideas, get involved, get going at letsmove.gov.
15, 16, 17.
Did you know that getting up and getting active for just 60 minutes a day is all it takes to help you get stronger, look better, and feel great?
Or that fresh fruits and veggies aren't just healthier and crunchier, they can taste better too?
Eating better and getting more active is easier than you think.
Yeah! Keep watching for some fun and easy ways to discover the magic of healthy living in your life.
America.
Let's get healthy together!
Did you find the flashlight and the batteries?
Yes.
Did you make sure we're not missing anything in the first aid kit?
10, 9, 8, 7, 6.
You're good.
Thank you.
Did you go through the plan with the kids again?
Yes.
The more you prepare today, the more you'll be able to reduce the devastating effects of a tornado, an earthquake, a power outage, or any other disaster. Get a kit, make a plan, be informed. Visit ready.gov.
The family of an NFL player may be getting justice. One of the 4 men accused of killing Redskins safety Sean Taylor in his home has reportedly admitted kicking down the bedroom door and shooting Taylor. A detective investigating the case says that 23-year-old Eric Rivera Jr. initially told police he was at the movies the night of the shooting in 2007, but later became nervous and changed his story when he saw detectives interviewing another suspect. One of the other suspects has pleaded guilty to second-degree murder and burglary charges. The other two still await trial.
Fall sports teams are looking forward to hopeful playoff berths in the near future. Some local football teams have tough matchups this weekend. TJ?
Well, Athena, Washington and Lee women's volleyball dropped their first conference game over the weekend, a 3-0 loss at Bridgewater on Saturday. Since that upset loss, the Lady Generals have beaten both Salem and Randolph in straight sets. Tonight, they take on the 13-8 Mary Washington Eagles on the road. Last weekend in Ashland, W&L ran their triple option attack all day, but could not break through in the first half against Randolph-Macon. The Yellow Jackets were able to put 14 points on the board in the first half, including 6 on a long run. The Generals mounted a fourth quarter comeback, but were not able to overcome the Yellow Jackets. That loss may have knocked the Generals out of contention from defending their ODAC conference title. This Saturday, Washington and Lee takes on another conference opponent when Bridgewater comes to town for homecoming weekend. Southern Virginia University football is off to its best start ever with a 4-2 record to start the season. Last weekend, they took down Apprentice by over 20 points. This weekend, they are looking for another easy win as the winless Bluefield College Rams come to town. VMI suffered their 6th loss of the season last week to Presbyterian and face a stiff challenge this week as they travel to South Carolina to play undefeated Coastal Carolina. On Friday night, both local high school football teams are in action at home. After 2 straight losses to Lord Botetourt and William Byrd, the Rockbridge High School Wildcats hope to wow their fans with a homecoming weekend win against Stanton River in the game of the weekend. Perry McClure will take on rival Covington for a face-off of 6-win teams. Both teams are having some of their best seasons in years. Last year, the Blues took an 18-0 win in this hard-fought rivalry game. At the same time these high school football teams are kicking off around the area, Washington and Lee and VMI are facing off in a preseason lacrosse matchup under the lights at Wilson Field. This is the only sport that the two colleges play each other in, and the teams treat it as a huge rivalry. It's certainly not your average preseason matchup. And Corey Smith has the latest on the World Series.
World Series Game 1 last night, the Boston Red Sox hosted the St. Louis Cardinals. Bottom of the first inning, Mike Napoli ropes a double to deep left center, and 3 runners, including David Ortiz and his emphatic slide, would score, and Napoli gives the Red Sox a 3-0 lead. We go to the bottom of the 7th, and Ortiz hits a long home run to right after having one robbed earlier in the game by Carlos Beltran, extending the Red Sox lead to 7-0. Cardinals manager Mike Matheny looks on in dismay. Boston would cruise to an 8-1 Game 1 victory. Game 2 is tonight.
That's it for sports. Back to you, ladies.
Wow, there's a lot of good games to look forward to this weekend, especially tomorrow night. Thanks, TJ.
Gode's Body Shop held their 5th annual car show at Kenny's of Lexington on Saturday. The Kenny's Classic Cruise and Car Show raised over $5,000 towards Rockbridge Area Hospice. Over 100 cars were present at the show. Various items from televisions to car equipment were raffled off. Gode's Body Shop owner, W.D. Gode, says the car show is a great way to give back to hospice because he supports the many ways hospice gives back to the community. A teacher in Danvers, Massachusetts was allegedly killed Tuesday by a student she had asked to stay after school. CNN is reporting that the 14-year-old suspect used a box cutter in the attack. Colleen Ritzer was killed in the bathroom where she taught. Her body was found in the nearby woods. Thanks for tuning in for this afternoon's Rockbridge Report. Have a great weekend.
Thanks for watching.